Hello, my friends. Let's talk about chapter 4 of my book, Wild River, which is now available on Amazon. So, in this chapter, it's a flashback, and it goes back to Bandas Riverman's adolescence. He's a teenager and still a slave on a plantation. Now, of course, again, the setting of Wild River is based on 1860s America, and the main narrative of the book happens after something called the Slave War. But this flashback happens before the Slave War, when there was still full out slavery, and Bandas was a slave. He's kind of a Frederick Douglass sort of character in the sense that even though he was a slave who was forced into ignorance, he still managed to find ways to learn to read and write while he was still a slave, and that's affected him throughout his life. That's what's one of the things that's allowed him to become a very capable investigator, because he has that very sharp mind. So in this flashback, we see him as a slave, and we see something happens. There's a normal day going on, and they're out in the fields working, and all of a sudden their overseer comes out and tells them all to go back to their huts. They don't understand this. They've never had this happen before, but they're not going to say no to a day off. Well, what's going on is there is a slave revolt, and it's kind of like the Nat Turner slave revolt in U.S. history. And these slaves, a number of them have armed themselves. They have weapons. They're going around from plantation to plantation, killing plantation owners, their families, and it's become very violent. And Bandas and his brother get involved in this, and it's specifically Bandas ends up interceding and protecting his master's daughter and grandchild from the slaves who are trying to kill them. And this becomes a very important part of the story, because it shows how Bandas is someone who cares about other people. He has certain deep ideals. He believes in protecting those who need protection, those who are subject to violence, and he's even willing to put himself on the line to do that. But you also see how, in ways later on, Bandas kind of regrets this. Not that he regrets protecting this young woman and child that are being attacked, but he regrets generally not opposing the institution of slavery enough. And this also leads to another flashback that's going to come later, where his master rewards him for his bravery that day. But it turns out to not exactly be a reward, and we'll see more of that when we come to it. So yeah, this is a very important chapter, in that I think it's very important in showing first how Bandas is someone with strong ideals and courage. Also showing how he has certain regrets in his life. He before being freed, he did not fight the institution of slavery as much as he feels that he should have. He was very much a part of the system. Of course, he was young. He didn't really understand. His other people, such as his mother, told him to just stay in line and do what he was told. But he never really fought the institution of slavery. And even when the slave war was occurring, he actually enlisted on the side of the slavers, because they had promised him freedom if he went and served in the war, and so he did that. But we see in the book that he has misgivings about that, because he realizes that fighting on that side of the war means fighting for slavery, and even though it's not something that he's openly opposed, it's certainly not something that he likes. And so these are very important aspects to his development as a character, and it shows that he's not perfect. He is heroic. He has certain important virtues, but he does things that he later regrets, and that's very important. So yeah. Anyway, if you haven't gotten Wild River yet, that's my kids running around screaming in the background. If you haven't gotten Wild River yet, go to Amazon.com. Wild River by Ronald M. Kimmons. Check it out. You can get it in ebook or hardback like this one, or paperback. And yeah, tell me your thoughts once you read the story, once you read this chapter. Go and give me some comments below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.